What's up, everyone? Just a quick little outer hip glute burner. Great to do in tandem with your yoga practice, before or after a run. Just getting those hips feeling really stable, those legs feeling super strong. You're going to start with your feet hip distance apart. You can bring your arms wide to a T, thumbs up towards the ceiling. You're going to bring the chest forward, right leg comes back, and then tap right toes next to your left heel. Airplane forward, through the chest, back through the right leg, and tap it in and down. We'll go 3 more, leaning chest forward. Try to keep shoulder blades towards each other, tap it down. So you feel all this strength through your back body. As you reach your right leg back, feel the left hamstrings nice and burning, working hard, and tap it down. Feet a little wider for this squat. Toes can be facing forward, a little bit of turnout. We're gonna get low down into our squat, chest stays up, and then we're gonna press through feet, firm glutes at the top. 3 more, sitting nice and low, chest is lifted up, and press down, lift up. Feel a little bit of pressure of knees wide as you sit your butt back and down, and up. 2 more, sit low, press, lift up. Feel that nice tone of your bum. Sit low, push, lift, squeeze at the top. Shifting here, feeling weight into your right foot. Thumbs up towards the sky, arms nice and wide, shoulder blades drawn together 5 times. Left leg comes back, chest forward. Tap toes next to right heel. Lengthen forward, left leg back, and tap. 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. And bring it all the way back up. 5 more times, those low squats, sitting down and in, chest stays lifted. Press, lift, feel glute squeeze at the top. Knees should be free from pain. So if you're feeling pain in the knees, maybe you don't go so far. Squeeze those glutes at the top. Feel that pressure. Outer hips working as the outer thighs press wide. Good. Sit low. Lift up. Sit low. Lift up. Feet hip distance apart. You're going to step your right foot back into a lunge. Bend your right knee straight down towards the floor. Feel your frontal index finger, middle finger on your frontal hip bones. Tilt the pelvis towards those bottom floating ribs. Pull those bottom floating ribs towards those top hips. Right knee straight down to the floor. So you feel right thigh stretching, right butt cheek firm, right hamstrings firm, left hamstrings firm. Hold here for 3 more. For 2, and 1. Lean forward. Palms interlace around that left thigh. Take a little bit of a nudge back with that right foot. Lean your torso forward. Feel shoulder blades glide together. And then a few times with your back heel. Pull your back heel down towards the floor. That's that right heel. And then draw it forward. Pull it back. Pull it forward. Pull it back. Pull it forward, bend that back knee straight down to the floor, reach the arms up and overhead. Good, you can keep the arms up and overhead, bring them to your hips or bring your hands into a prayer position. We're going to lean the hips forward and then pull those hips back. Lean the hips forward, pull those hips back, lean the hips forward, pull the hips back. Keep pulling the hips back, wiggle those left toes forward. Straighten your left leg out, dive your chest forward. See if you can do this without using your hand. Rebend left knee, torso lifts. And then straightening left leg. Arms can reach back to counter your balance here. Pull left knee forward, chest up. Straighten left leg. Pulling chest forward and up. Left knee bends. Last one. Lean back, pause, hold. Feel your outer left hip. Hug in, feel your left heel press down. Feel a little bit of a tug of your left heel back towards your left sitting bone. Chest is forward, forward, forward. Take an inhale. And then exhale. Rebend. Hands down. Step back. Find a downward facing dog shape. And then once you get back in downward facing dog, pedal out those legs. So bend one knee and the opposite knee here. One knee and the opposite knee. So take a breath. And then come down into a quadruped position. In your quadruped position, Grip the earth with your fingertips, curl your toes back behind you. Feel the front body into the back body, hover the knees here. Hover, hover, hover. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees stay bent and hovering, hips back, arms forward. Legs reach back and straight into your downward facing dog. And then from here, walk your hands back towards your feet. And turn yourself sideways. We're going to do alternating side lunges. So you can keep your hands on your center, you can bring your hands to your hips, or just have your arms down towards the side. We're going to step the right knee wide. I like to have my hands up on my chest. I'm going to drive through my left heel and come back to center. Now my left leg is going to move out to the left, staying high in the torso. Go to the right. And center, left, and center. To the right, and center, to the left, and center. Feel that push through your feet to come back to center. Good. One more time to the left, and center. Turn around, step your left foot back, bend your left knee straight down to the floor, index finger, middle finger to your hip bones, pull the pelvis up, draw the front ribs in, drive the left knee straight down. So you feel that nice stretch through the left thigh, tone through the left glute, tone through the left hamstrings. Take an inhale. Feel that shake, feel that hover. And then tap it all the way down to the floor. Oh, actually come back up, I forgot. Here, we're gonna come up, lean forward, straighten that back leg out, hands interlace around that front thigh. Press your left heel back, pull your left heel forward. Press your left heel back, pull your left heel forward. Press your left heel back, pull your left heel forward, bend that back knee down, set it down, hands to your hips or wherever you'd like to land, and we're going to take the hips forward, pull the hips back, take the hips forward, pull those hips back, take the hips forward, pull the hips back, take the hips forward, this time pull the hips back, maybe inch that right heel a little bit forward so you can straighten your right leg out, dive your torso forward, but feel that strength and control in your back body. And then rebend the right knee, lift the torso up. Straighten right leg, lean forward. Pull the chest up, bend the front knee. Keep it going. 3 more. Feel that outer right hip. Try to stay nice and stable in the center there. And bending in. And then straightening. And bending. And then straightening and holding here. Outer right hip hugs in. There's this feeling of balance, right to left, across your pelvis, outer right hips firm. Chest is forward, so we're floating into, while we stretch those right hamstrings, can you pull that right heel a little bit towards your right sitting bone? Good. Take a moment, take a breath. And then rebend right knee, hands down, step back, fine. Downward facing dog shape. Take an inhale here. And then exhale. Get yourself back into quadruped position. Grip the mat with your fingers. Press down into your hands. Hover the knees. This time, keeping the back end of your pose super, super stable. Can you tap? Left fingers, right shoulder. Set your left hand down. Do this so slow. Building core stability and hip stability. Right hand, left shoulder. Set it back down one more time. Left hand, right shoulder. Set it down. Right hand, left shoulder. Set it down. Keep the knees floating, hovering. Sit your hips back. Reach and straighten your legs out. Good. Reach the arms forward. Feel the feet grip, bear down into the mat, and gently tug your mat back towards the back end. Take a breath. And then this time, soften your knees, walk your hands all the way back to meet your feet. One vertebra at a time, roll yourself up to standing. Assume a squat position. Sit your butt back and down, lift your chest up. We're going to take 3 steps to the right. Try not to bounce too much. Up and down, staying really stable in the center, low in the legs, small steps, a lot of control. Step right, left leg follows. Right, right, and then we're going to go left, 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 right, 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 left, left, left. One more time, right, right, right. Stay low, let that burn happen. Left, 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 and stand up. Good. Keeping the feet hip distance apart. You can bring your hands down to your sides and then make fists push the floor down. So there's this tension in the midline center and in the legs. Keep tension in the left leg. Take an inhale and then exhale. Squeeze your right knee up and into your chest. A few times here, staying nice and rigid through the midline of your body. Pull your right heel into center line and back to that flexion position. So right now we start 90-degree angle in the right leg, and then we go external rotation. Heel comes into the center, moves over to the left, and then comes back to straight. Good, try to keep that ankle nice and firm, foot firm, external rotation, and back to center. External rotation, back to center. Ooh, burning. External rotation, soften your left knee and cross your right ankle on top of your left knee. Any amount. Come down and in to your squat and bring your hands into a prayer position. Outer left hip is hugging in. Outer right knee, any amount, is moving towards the right. Big stretch, right hip. Good. So right now we have this passive support of our left thigh. We're going to breathe into that. Inhale. And then as you exhale, stay low in that front leg and see if you can hover your right shin, keeping that shape through your right leg, through your right thigh, and tap it back down. Good. Sink a little bit lower. Maybe your fingers can find the floor or a shelf. Good. Hold here for a moment. Whew. Take a breath. Good. And then pull yourself back up. Find balance. Press down into your left foot. Hover your right shin. And then bring it back to that straight shin position, knee into the chest, and set it down. Feet a little bit wider, heels in, toes out. We're gonna go lower into our squat. This time the tailbone kind of curls a little bit more underneath you rather than butt back, so you can keep your butt down and sink into your lowest squat. I want you to stop at that point where you feel like you start to round and collapse, and just stay and breathe into the buoyancy of your legs. Lengthen space through low back, through chest. Holding here. Feel your outer knees moving wide, inner knees moving wide, inner thighs stretching. Exhale, hands down, toes spin a little forward, heels back, head drops into a forward bend. Hands to your hips, drive through your feet, come all the way up to standing. Wiggle your feet back to about hip distance apart, maybe a little bit wider for extra stability. Hands can be on your hips, hands can be in prayer, or that fist pushing down, firm your midsection. Feel both legs firm, stay firm through your right leg, hug your left knee up and in. Good. Keep that outer left hip kind of drawn in, and just moving the thigh bone in the hip socket to take your left heel towards your right and back to center. Left heel towards your right and back to center. Keep it going. Can you notice the difference from side to side? And center, out to the right, and center, out to the right. Soften, right knee, sit low, right leg, feel your outer right hip hugging, feel chest lifted. Sinking in, feeling that passive stretch in your outer left hip. Good, and we're gonna get a little bit of tone here. So I like to take my fists in front of my heart and then get a little grippy in my hands, nice and firm in my upper back, driving down into my right foot, hover my left shin, keep the shape of external rotation, set it back down, lower fingertips down, maybe coming deeper into the stretch. Another few breaths. Good, and then start to lift the chest, firm through your right foot, hover it up, lift your chest, and then hover the left shin, come all the way to standing, left knees into the chest, foot down, feet wide, tailbone stays sort of underneath you here. Don't force it. We're gonna sink low into our little wider foot squat, as low as we can go without collapsing. So we should be able to rebound right back up to standing. Good. One more moment here. And then hands down, hips lift, toes spin forward, heels wide. And then wiggle your feet nice and wide into a straddle forward bend, dropping the head down. So you'll feel more stretch to the hamstrings here. Legs don't have to be perfectly straight. And then start to push into your nice flat back again. Look at your left foot, pivot at a little bit of an angle. Bend your left knee deeply. Keep your torso centered to start, and then feel sensation in your inner groins. Take your torso over inside that left leg. Try to keep the chest reaching forward, length through the low back. And then from here, maybe sinking, seat down, right toes spin towards the sky, and see if you can find some balance here. Imagine your heels kind of squeezing in towards the center to connect you all the way up through the crown of your head. Options from here, you can bring your hands down to the floor, or start to push your right toes forward like you're pushing into a gas pedal. Drive your left heel down, stay low, shift over towards the right, and sink down and in. Right side, this really deep low side lunge. Again, you could be higher in the hips. And then we're gonna bring the hands down, come up to that kind of medium squat or side lunge. Chest is forward. And then keep your legs in that shape. Bring your torso to center. Good. Walk it back and into the right inner thigh. Sit back low into right side lunge. Hands to your heart or hands on the floor for support. Left toe starts to press like a gas pedal. That helps you lift your hips, drive your right heel down. Stay low, shift to the left. Reach your right toes up and away from the floor. Chest lifts. Hands down. Hips up, left heel comes down, right toe spin down. Stay low in that shape of your legs. Chest to the center. And then straighten left leg, return to your straddle, and drop the head. Take your hands really far forward of your toes, shift weight into your palms, hug your feet together and tap your knees down to the floor. Nice, so we're gonna do some reclined work here to finish us off. So we're gonna start with the left thigh, or the right thigh stacked on top of the left thigh. And you can come all the way down onto your left side waist, left outer arm, and make a pillow with your head with that left hand. For these clamshells, I want to take the back pocket butt cheek up towards the sky. So there's a little bit of a tilting of the hips forward. So they're not straight outer hip up towards the sky. There's this kind of leaning forward. And we're going to set ourselves up in a way that we can keep our feet together, especially those heels together. And then just 5 times, lift your right knee off your left knee, keep your heels connected, and set it back down. Lift your right knee off your left knee, and set it back down. So you should feel a lot of work through your outer right hip. Lift it up, set it down. Last one. Lift it up, set it down. Listen carefully. You're going to straighten those legs out. Feel your butt isn't poking back behind your midsection. You're in this nice, sturdy, strong, long line. So your front body's toned, your back body's toned. And then from here, you can bring your right hand down onto the floor for support, or you can bring your right hand to your right hip and kind of nudge the right outer hip towards your right heel. So you're not using your side waist to lift the leg. From here, right leg lifts up. Good. And then you're going to start to take circles with this leg forward. You can point or flex the foot, doesn't really matter, but we want to really feel that it's just the leg that's moving. So the chest and the midsection isn't moving, that bottom leg isn't moving, just the right toes circling forward, forward, forward. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Leg stays lifted, draw the heel back, and now little backward circles. Circle, 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 Try to keep that midsection still. Bottom leg sturdy. Really feeling that burn. It's a good one though. Good burn, good burn. Nice. Hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now from here, keep hovering right foot over left foot. I know it's burning. It's the good burn, right? Right fingers come a little bit closer towards the chest so you can squeeze your right knee into your chest and kick it back to straight. Squeeze your right knee into your chest, kick it to straight. Try not to move the bottom line of your body. Squeeze it in, kick it out. Squeeze it in, kick it out. I know it's burning. I can feel it too. Squeeze it in, kick it out. Squeeze it in, keep it in, rotate up, rotate down. Rotate up, rotate down. Rotate up, rotate down, rotate up, and then see if you can bring your right heel in towards your left inner thigh like you're doing a reclined tree pose. And then bring your right hand overhead, right elbow bends up towards the sky. Drive through your bottom foot. Keep your body really sturdy. We'll do this a few times to squeeze the right knee up towards the right elbow and then reach the right toes forward. Right toes are facing up towards the ceiling. Squeeze your right knee in towards your right elbow and straighten that leg out. Good. Last time. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And release. Shake it out, and you're going to turn and switch to the other side. So do all of those in succession. So we're really utilizing these outer hip muscles that in yoga get stretched a lot and runners tend to be pretty weak. And it really helps to stabilize the pelvis and to make our movement super efficient and stable and sturdy and strong. All right, so we're setting up in our clamshell. So we're on now our outer right hip, outer right arm. Got that pillow with the head. Find that the inner knee is touching, but then find that little bit of back pocket up towards the ceiling here. You can bring your left hand to your left hip or just have it forward of you here. So we want to try not to use these side waist muscles to do this. We want to really feel it isolated in the outer left hip. So feeling that pressure of your left pelvis down towards your left heel. So we're not scrunching in here. We're really toning and moving the knee from down into this outer hip. We're going to peel the left knee up off the right knee. Keep the heels connected and set it back down. Good. Notice if one side feels different than the other. Typically with the hips, that's super, super common. So if that's happening for you, all good. And down. We'll do two more. Just these clamshells, getting us really connected to that area that we want to work. One more. Lifting it up. Not a huge range of motion. Big feeling in the outer left hip. Set it back down. Straighten the legs out. And really feel yourself stable on that right side body. Butt's not sticking back. Butt's curled in. Front body to back body to front body. Feel that lengthening of your left side waist. Hover your left foot. And then just little circles. Forward, forward, forward. And you can explore here what helps you feel better to really connect to that outer left hip, left thigh, is if the toes are pointed or if the foot is flexed. Know that you can experiment with that. Slightly different changes around the muscles of the shin bone, but not too much through the hip. Good. Feeling it burn in a good way. Obviously, if you need to take a break, you take a break and you come right back into it. But we want to feel into this burn. So really kind of slow, deep, big feeling burn in that hip, right? But it's an area of our body that gets really underutilized or overstretched if you're a yoga practitioner. So really good to kind of isolate this area. It's a really important part of our stabilizing. And then heel back. Same thing, this is the circle's reverse and they go backwards. So change the direction of the circle and it's a little bit back behind that right leg. Feel your right leg is super firm, super stable. Oh man, this side is much harder for me, more my really open side and which also happens to be my weak side. Good. Keep it going. Nice, and then keep hovering that left foot over your right foot. You're gonna drive that left knee into the chest and kick it right back out. Drive it into the chest and kick it straight. Drive it into the chest, kick it straight. Drive it into the chest, kick it straight. Drive it into the chest, keep it into the chest, rotate it up towards the ceiling and down towards the floor. Up to the ceiling, down to the floor. Really just feel that the femur is moving. Nothing else is moving. Down to the floor. Up to the ceiling, down to the floor, up to the ceiling. See if you can slide that left heel into your right inner thigh. Get it up as high as it'll go without pulling it into position. Good, so just let it get there under its own power. So we're really kind of in this reclined tree pose position. Yeah, so you're gonna take this, keep the leg in this kind of open position. You're gonna take the left hand behind the skull. Good, if you need it for support, it can stay in front of the chest. Otherwise, working a little bit more core stability. Feel your hips really firm underneath you. Hug your left knee up and into that left elbow, and then kick it straight. Keep the toes up towards the ceiling. Hug it in, kick it straight. Hug it in, kick it straight. Hug it in, kick it straight. Hug it in, hug it in, hug it in. And lower it down. And push yourself up to a seated position. Up to a seated position. Last little bit of dynamic movement through the legs here. We're gonna go soles of the feet together, knees wide. Options. You can have your fingertips back behind you for more support. Try to keep this length through your low back and this lift through the chest. Or you can bring your hands to the center of the chest, make a fist, or bring your palms into prayer position. You're gonna sit up nice and tall into the legs as you inhale. And then as you exhale, lean slightly back, kick your heels wide into your straddle, and we'll just take a little dip forward, not using the hands, low back stays long, chest reaches forward. And then lean back, soles of the feet together, knees wide, little lean forward into that stretch. Lean back, heels wide, lean forward. Pull up, heels in, set it down. Good. Keep it going from your cobbler's pose to your straddle pose. Or in yoga, Baddha Konasana to Upavishta Konasana. Nice. Soles of the feet together, knees wide. Good, and then the next time you get to your straddle, you're gonna stay in your straddle. Bring your hands to your heart. Lift your sternum up into your thumbs. Feel active through the legs. Feel the top of your thigh bone rooting down into the floor. Feet are nice and active. They can be pointed, they can be flexed. It doesn't really matter. We just want to keep feeling of activation through the legs. We're going to tip the torso forward. Try not to round. So feel the pelvis roll forward through over the thighs. And then pull yourself back up. You can keep your hands to your heart. Or this round, reach your arms towards the ceiling. Feel your heels firm down, feel your thigh bones firm down, feel your spine reach, sides of your waist reach. And then we're going to take that same tipping of the pelvis forward. Reach, reach, reach. And then when you can't reach anymore, hands come down to the floor, and then we're going to soften. We're going to let the head go and find that gentle round of the spine here. And we'll breathe for about 20 seconds. Slowly coming up, lean back, cross your right shin in front of your left shin, or if you need to go a little bit more ankle to ankle, we'll come into that cross-legged seat. You're going to tilt the pelvis forward over the thighs, and we'll just lean the chest forward towards those shins. Any amount. It could be much higher here. Just feeling into the space of the outer hips that we just did a lot of work to tone. We're just releasing a little bit of that gripping. A nice, easy, passive stretch for the outer hips. Other side, lean back, change the crossing of the legs, and then tilt the pelvis forward, chest follows, head follows. That's it. Hope your hips feel good. See you soon.